Well, that is a property. It's just very nice. 3-bed, 3-bath. Nothing too bad. Very nice neighborhood around here. Do you have any questions regarding the property to me?
Yeah. Honestly, really great property. Real great
Oh,
property.
yeah, real great property.
But our main concern is just the guy.
The guy?
Oh, yeah, the guy.
I apologize, sir. I don't know what you're talking about by the guy. Oh, yeah, the guy. He kind of stands in the back over there by that car over there. Yeah, it's really creepy. Oh, yes, that's just Myers. He's, well, he comes around every now and again. I think he's trying to kill me specifically. So once you guys buy the place, he should be good. You guys shouldn't worry about him.
Well, wait, are you serious? I mean, I'm more concerned about you than I am about the house at this point. Like, I guess we'll buy it, but...
Oh, great. Perfect. And look at that. He's already gone.
Yeah, it looks like he is. Wow. But again, he's just gonna come after... What the hell? Wait, where the hell did she go? Hey, honey, do you think that was just a sales partner and that was just a way to get us a sign for the house?
A few times a year, poor unfortunate souls are dragged from their corner of fiction in order to be added to the terrifying roster that is Dead by Daylight. In 2016, one of these characters, in fact the first character to ever have done this, was Michael Myers, the face of true evil. This was an incredible addition to their game. The thing that makes it even more phenomenal is the fact that they were only 6 months past production. They were only 2 DLCs in, and they already had this huge licensing agreement put out in front of them. They were already going to get one of the most iconic killers available, and that was amazing for them. And horror fans all over were buying this game in preparation for this killer. Upon release, Michael Myers did not disappoint. His 3 perks, Save the Best for Last, Play for Your Food, and Dying Light, added a ton of utility to the 4 killers that were already available. Along with that, next to the Wraith, he was one of the 2 killers that had access to stealth abilities. And along with the Hillbilly, he was one of the 2 killers that had access to instant down ability, just with their power alone, no add-ons required. All in all, he was a very strong killer when he first came out. And that's kind of where all the good stuff ended with him. When it comes to his survivor counterpart, Laurie Strode doesn't bring a lot to the table. Up until a little bit ago, only one of her perks was particularly usable or meta in the slightest. Decisive Strike was an incredibly powerful perk that continuously got struck down itself. And when it came to the map that it was included in, Lambkin Lane was regarded as to one of the worst maps ever to take place in the realms of DBD. Honestly, it's unfortunate that the killer himself had to even be put into this world because of the fact that so many things bad about him were there. While it may look like I'm speaking on my ass and the shape is actually doing pretty well if you look at behaviors data that they put up, if you look at experienced players like Otstarva's tier list is the most accessible one I can find, you'll find that the shape is not exactly doing that great. And there's a few reasons why. I want to talk about the shape himself and how he's bad and how I think that we can do a few small tweaks to change him and make him a bit more middle ground. You see, my goal is to make it so that all of these killers here can be considered yellow at the very least. Don't want all of them to be blue, but I would like them all to be at least yellow. I don't want to see red on this screen. Just like a pipe bomb, we need to know what makes Myers go tick before we know what makes Myers go boom. Myers' powers rely on his ability to stalk the survivors in a trial. Before I get the comments that say, just give him a Facebook account, we're done, I think the asking behavior to put up all of Facebook would be a bit of a hard sell. Realistically, his powers are simple. When an unsuspecting survivor is within line of sight of Myers, he can stalk them, using their fear to upgrade his power. Evil within. Evil within. God damn it. I mean evil within. Yep, that one. Okay, good. Evil within has 3 levels. Evil within 1 is the default state, where Myers is slower than my sister studying for a math test, moving at a cool 4.2 meters per second. At least it's faster than the nurse, who still clocks it at a sad 3.95 miles per second. But she can teleport, and I care why. She still moves very slow. In the trait of speed, he becomes me in the eyes of any woman. Undetectable. Evil Within 2 upgrades his capabilities to that of any average killer. Finally, after 2 minutes, I can actually play. Pretty much nothing else happens here. Myers just regains a reduced terror radius of 16 meters and moves at an average 4.6 meters. It's at Evil Within 3 when things start getting really crazy. At Evil Within 3, the Shape starts his gossip channel because now all the survivors are exposed. When the Shape is in Evil Within 3, he can now down survivors no matter what health state they're at in one hit. He also increases his terror radius from 16 meters to 32 meters, but unfortunately this only lasts for about 30 seconds. There's a few other things about his abilities, but we don't really need to know those for us to fix them. We already know the things that we already need to do. Myers has two main downsides from what we heard. In his base form against decent survivors, he feels nearly unplayable. I'm talking about Evil Within 1. No add-ons, nothing. He starts the game off immediately at a disadvantage, being slower until he finds a survivor and stares at them for 6 seconds, which can feel like 20 years at some times. It's even worse when you realize that all the survivors are just as weavy and dodgy if it was a Deathslinger or a Nurse, and it doesn't feel amazing when you're just moving at 4.2 meters per second, and in order to go to a normal killer speed, you have to wait a whole 6 seconds, while every other killer moves at a normal killer speed, minus the Nurse, and just is able to do things. After you power up, the increase in strength feels negligible. At Evil Within 2, you get the same elements that most killers have, but because they have the additional power, they just immediately feel better to play from the beginning. So you have 6 seconds before you feel like a regular killer again. And even then, you don't, because your special thing comes later. After that, you have to wait another 6 seconds of watching survivors. Again, this doesn't stop them from doing anything. And sure, they have to move, but like there's 4 of them. You can only suck the soul out of one of them. On top of that, you are now detectable. So survivors get a head start of knowing where you are before you can stalk them. Finally, when you get to Evil Within 3, you're able to do some real fun stuff. Like one-shotting your opponents and, you get a cool sound effect, when you tear up. Yeah, it's really only the one shot. That's all you really get. For 30 seconds. And your opponents know immediately when you get it, because they also get that soundbite I talked about. And they can detect you from farther away now. Because now they can detect you from 32 meters instead of 16 meters. And you have no real way to, you have no real chase power. Because if you're walking around, you slow down when you're stalking people. You slow down to the ungodly speed of 0.92 meters per second. But to top it all off, the amount of running perks that they have makes it so you're essentially role-playing Wile E. Coyote going against the Roadrunner. With all of these, it's no wonder why most streamers put in the lowest tier of their tier lists. It's really hard to find a streamer who's not doing a meme to play Myers for you, unless you ask them to. If they're playing Myers of their own volition, that's a gem. Subscribe to them immediately. Now, his second downside is the one that makes players most upset. His second downside is his loadout. Many players tend to utilize one of two playstyles when chasing their prey. The first is using the Tombstone method, where they utilize Judith's Tombstone, an iridescent add-on that allows you to kill survivors in one hit, not down them, no, straight up murk them. They usually use this along with the other eerie add-on, Fragrant Tuft of Hair, which allows you to have unlimited tier 3 powers. So basically, you can just murder everyone available. The second playstyle is a bit more of a meme playstyle, colloquially referred to as the jump scare method, where they utilize Scratched or Vanity Mirrors, 2 purple add-ons which prevents them from going past Evil Within Tier 1 or 2 respectively. In return, the user is able to see the survivor's auras within 32 and 16 meters respectively. The fun behind these is that people are able to see, oh, this person's going this way, this person's going this way, I'm just going to trick them into thinking I'm going this way, and then jump scare them on the other end. Or on an indoor map like Leary's, I'm just going to jump scare them and when they think they're going this way. Either way, with these add-ons being the main way that people play the game, it's hard to say that he's an interesting choice to really pick. With these main shortcomings in mind, we can reach out and try to change this force of pure feebleness to a force of pure evilness. First off, let's figure out a way to make his upgrade line more frightening, rather than him just being a classic M1 killer with no features other than an insta-kill. First off, when the Shape starts a trial, he should spawn within 20 meters of the most out-of-the-way survivor. This way, thematically, it's like Myers has isolated and tracked down a survivor. This survivor also becomes the obsession if they weren't already. Using this, Myers will be able to find that first survivor easier, but we'll still have to hunt them down as not give them a free kill. This is intended to make the transition from Evil Within 1 to Evil Within 2 easier and faster. If Myers wastes this time to get a free hit, then he'll spend more time in Evil Within 1, which is not ideal.
But Matt, what about Lethal Pursuer?
True. When we look into this kind of stuff, we should think about all the perks that can directly break this addition right away. Lethal is a great example of this, as it allows our shape to see all survivors at the beginning of the trial, including the new obsession. To negate that, let's make it so Myers can't see auras within 20 meters of him within the first 12 seconds of the trial. This way, the effect lasts for the entirety of Lethal Pursuer, and in order for Myers to be able to see the obsession's aura, Myers has to walk away from the obsession and then come back, wasting a small bit more time that the obsession will be able to use to get away, since the obsession knows that Myers is in the area because they know they're the obsession. When Myers hits Evil Within 2, he gains 0.2 meters of speed and a terror radius of 16 meters. Nothing else. My idea is that we give the survivors a feeling of dread when they are being stalked, while also allowing for a level of chase control. While Myers is in Evil Within 2, the survivor that's being stalked gains a 15% hindered effect while they are being stalked, lingering for 3 seconds after stalking finishes. From my experience, people slow down when they know someone's watching them. Tends to make my life easier, so it should for Myers as well. I think that Evil Within 3 is in a good place. It doesn't really need any buffing, and I can't think of a nerf I can really give it. I know that the changes made here may feel small, but they, plus a good rework to his add-on, should result in a Myers that feels just a bit stronger, maybe able to move up that Otstarva tier list.
So you just finished the video. Make sure if you enjoyed it to like and subscribe. Make sure to see more content in the near future or even the recent past. If you want to see a specific game or a specific killer or a specific build, make sure to comment it down below. You know where that is already. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful time, and please keep your eyes out for me in the recommended. That's the best one I think I've had, and I don't really